What's up? Tim Sykes here with Strati and Clay, two millionaires. Now I can say millionaire with this guy. How does it feel?
Finally.
Right?
Pretty relief.
Clay, how long have you been a millionaire now?
February, March, maybe.
How did it feel?
Overdue.
Both these guys, congratulate these overdue millionaires. Boo-hoo, it took you a few extra months because you thought you deserved it. It doesn't matter what you think you deserve. It's all about execution. That's what I want you guys to understand. There's a lot of people out there, a lot of non-millionaires walking around being like, I deserve this. What have you learned in your grind to become a millionaire, Strati? Like, what have you learned about yourself, the markets, the challenge?
The market doesn't care what you think you deserve. Like, you just have to go with what the market's doing. So, I don't know, like, I can wake up and want to make money and want to do all these cool things and achieve these goals. If the market doesn't agree with you, then you need to calm down and stay in your lane. And then when the market does agree with you, you need to push. So you need to know where you're at and where the market's at and try to align it.
As I say, it's like Top Gun or Top Gun 2. The market is a fighter jet. You're a fighter jet. One fighter jet is moving. You're trying to get it in the bullseye. Do you like that analogy?
Yeah, I've heard you say that before.
But it's true because the enemy, which is the market, is always moving, and you're theoretically in this fighter jet too, so you're moving. And it's tough to get it like right in the bullseye, like you're going to be off. What do you think, Clay? What have you learned during the grind and the challenge of everything?
It's been really interesting because like all of the setbacks and all the pain that I go through is all my own doing. And so like if you don't dig deep enough and then continue to go through the same mistakes, like it can feel like grueling, but it's all your own fault. So that responsibility is like great for actual self-growth. And I know that like when I say it's overdue, I mean, that's all my own doing for not doing the deep work to change those like little habits, and those little habits that get repeated, or like the opportunity cost is just massive.
Give an example. What kind of pain did you go through and what kind of growth did you see as a result?
So impulse control, like just overtrading, like knowing that if I only focus on my best like top 3 of the watch list every day, for example, like I can have a big watch list, but maybe the ones on the bottom of it, I just track. I don't actually trade, whatever it is. And then stuff that just pops up intraday, if I just don't allow myself to take those and I'm okay with missing and I only focus on the high quality, like I just feel like I could 10x the wins while reducing the losses that cause pain and cause like emotional setbacks that then help me or then cause me to miss out on the big ones. Like,
so why are you tempted by the lack of quality plays? Like why even put them on your watch list?
Well, not just watch list too, but just stuff that just pops up intraday. You see somebody mention something in chat and then you look it up and then you're like, oh, this looks good. I'm going to take some. I'm going to try to make like a small win or something. And then you take it, you get hit, and then, I mean, it can just like snowball.
You agree, Strati?
Yeah, it happens, especially if you're feeling some pressure to make money or you're kind of on edge. And then, you see another good trader mention a stock, like you might be tempted to fall for that, and especially if you're not going in a right headspace and you're going through some stuff. I can see people falling for other people's ideas, and that's probably the worst thing you can do, but it happens naturally sometimes.
Here's the thing, like you guys are all on your own journey. You have to cross $1 million on your own. You can't have like another trader do it for you. You need to learn yourself. Like, $1 million is nice, but it's also not the end all, especially these days, given where the dollar is going or has been. But you need to try to push yourself and learn, obviously from other traders, but you can't have the other traders' ideas. Like you can't cheat the process. If let's say you get to $1 million, but all you've done is like utilize like 5 other traders' ideas. Did you really do it? Yes, maybe you push the buttons, but now you're relying on them. You're not self-sufficient. Both these guys have made $1 million plus now, but they're self-sufficient. Can you talk about a little self-sufficiency, Clay?
Yeah, I mean, just finding a setup that you love and that fits your personality and diving deep on that setup and getting the nuances, the details, like specific criteria and checklists. Like that's how you become efficient at one strategy, and that's how you get good at creating your own ideas. Because then when you see that setup, you see that pattern,
it's
you know
yours.
what you need to look for. Yeah.
What do you think, Strati?
It's tricky, dude, because
It's not an exact science.
You've created a program with a lot of successful traders that we all get to connect with. Like I was in Italy with all these top traders, like so it's very tempting to pick their brains and try to take some of the trades that they're doing. So it's a double-edged sword, but at the end of the day, you do need self-sufficiency. Like what if Tim dies one day, and then what if the program shuts down? Like you need to be able to make your living and like support your family, whatever you got to do. So
You don't want to rely on anybody else.
you can't rely on anybody. You don't know what's going to happen with other people, so you need to figure it out on your own with some guidance.
No. Well, so like this is what, where he's saying it's tricky. I encourage you to learn from every trader, take a little something from every trader, and then implement that into your own process. And you're basically like building your own Frankenstein. You're using like bits and pieces from everybody, but that's fine. It's good to get inspired by others. It's good to learn from others. But again, you don't want to be exactly the same. I mean, I say this all the time. Jack Kellogg loves Tim Grittani, loves Trading Tickers DVD series, but he tried to trade like him. Terrible, right? So you can appreciate other traders and how they do it, but like your strengths and weaknesses might be different. Same thing with me. I watched Trading Tickers and Trading Tickers 2, especially one time in San Diego right before bed. I had nightmares because Grittani has so much patience and I have zero patience. So it doesn't really, jive with me. I do try to have more patience, but I also, you have to be honest with yourself. Clay, like what's your biggest strength that you found and what's your biggest weakness?
Biggest weakness is being able to wait for those high quality setups. So when I say like
Patience.
impulse control, yeah, like I feel like I'm being lazy or wasting time if I'm not trading when it's like almost the opposite. Like being patient is the work. Like if I can be patient, like that's the work that I'm not doing that I know I need to be doing, because waiting for those high quality setups will put so much more on the top end and reduce the stuff that I'm just like wasting, like burning money.
Yeah, I mean, you guys think like, oh, it's all about trading, it's all about screen time, but if you're trading poor setups, if you're watching randomness, that's not a good use of your time. When there are good setups, by all means, lock in, focus, trade, execute, learn. But when there's not a good setup, go outside, go work out, go watch a movie, go travel, go read, go study, go spend time with friends, go spend time with family. There's so many things that you can do, and this is the beauty of trading. Everyone's so focused on money, but like you need to understand that it's not a normal 9-to-5 job. So like, 9-to-5 jobs, you clock in, you clock out, you get paid hourly. This is very different, and you have to really maximize every hour differently than you might think. And the good news is you can actually make more money by trading less. Strati, you learned that yesterday. Tell them what you learned about yesterday's trading.
So when we crossed the milestone on Friday or Thursday, and then I just really was like, I'm gonna have the mindset of not take it easy, but just be very protective and like just.
You don't want to lose the milestone.
You can't lose them. If I go back under after all.
I have to delete the post. Strati was a millionaire, now he's not.
But at the same time, I can't trade scared and not show up. Like this is my job at the end of the day. So we just adjust. Like that, we move on the fly. So I sized down and I took singles. Like I just did smaller things. And honestly, the stuff that we learned 5 years ago, we were just starting. So it was kind of nice to get back to the basics.
Because you've been stressing, trying to get over this milestone, trying to size up, trying to make big money. Like you were like what, $30,000 away for like 2 months, 3 months?
I got to 992 a month ago, and then I lost like 5 or 6. I was back to 979. So I flirted between this 20K range for a month.
And now you're over it. And like, this is the way that you should think. Like some of you, okay, it's good that these guys are millionaires, but like, it's very stressful when you go down, when you're taking the size to make the money, that's good. But like, it can go the other way. It's a double-edged sword, and you have to be extra careful with that. And now Strati's afraid to lose the milestone. And I'm like, why don't you have this mindset all the time? Like whether, not just losing the milestone. Some of you are watching this. You're not millionaires, most of you. But let's say you have $1,000. Let's say you don't want to go under $1,000. You can trade scared and still profit. We had this play yesterday, CIGL. Beautiful after-hours spiker. I was trying not to sell too soon. I failed. I already sold some of it in the 480s. It went all the way to the 530s. I was in just over 4. That play was zero stress. People are like, what are you risking? I'm risking if I'm wrong because it's an over-the-weekend play, and, I try to hold over the weekend. But I bought it, 3:40, 3:43 p.m. I didn't even want to watch it. I went upstairs before the close. I'm like, I'm not watching it. I don't want to be tempted. And then, 17 minutes later after I bought, maybe 19 minutes later after I bought, it was like 4:02 p.m. It became the biggest after-hours runner. And if you know after-hours runners, 1 to 4:05 p.m., if there's that one big runner, everyone gravitates towards it. Short sellers start to pounce because they want it to go down, and longs pounce because they want like a quick after hours runner. And Strati, what did you do? I was upstairs. I didn't even see what you did with that trade.
So like I usually on like a $3 or $4 stock, like I'm taking 10, 20,000 shares. I'm always stressed out. I said, you know what? I'm going to try this play out. I see what Tim sees. I want to learn. I bought like 4,000 shares and then I sold a piece. I think I made like $1,200 in like 10 minutes, but it was just so nice. It was just chill. It was
Trading does not have to be stressful. You can size down. You don't have to take big risks. And again, I don't encourage anyone to follow any alerts from anybody, but the reason why I alert is I want you to see what I'm thinking. I want you to see my mindset. And I literally gave my plan. I said, this is my plan. I went upstairs. You know, whatever happens, happens. And for like 10 or 15 minutes, it wasn't doing much, which is fine. It was supposed to be an over the weekend play. But then after hours, it started to really run. Did you buy it during market hours or after hours?
During market hours. I was going to swing it to Monday. Like I don't swing stocks a lot. So I was like, let me practice with small size. And then like I checked it 5-10 minutes later. It's at 5. I'm like, oh, I kind of got to sell. Hey, sorry, Tim, I'm selling this.
You don't have to apologize. Like some trades can work very quickly. This is the beauty of trading. Like, it's so counterintuitive because normally we're trained to think, okay, you got to put in the long hours. The long hours will eventually pay off and then you'll make big money. But some of the best trades can be quick. Clay, do you have like an example where maybe you planned it well, maybe you were meticulous, maybe you were just dead on, where there was a quick trade and you just nailed it?
Yeah, I mean, like...
What's the latest one? I mean, you probably have multiple examples.
Well, most of the best trades that I have, like, I'm never down on because, like,
They work.
As soon as you buy it, they just move it quickly away from price, and then you don't have to like.
Give us one specific example of like a quick trade. Give us like the details of like how many minutes, just so people can get an idea. Because I have a lot of 10, 15 minute trades, and people are like, "How are you so quick?" But if you're buying a breakout, if you're buying a panic, like the price action can change very fast.
I mean, I have like tons of examples from years ago, and I was
give the most recent one. Don't talk about your hyper scalp.
I mean, I don't know. I don't really scalp anymore. So quick trades, I try to like when I'm up on something, I just try to hold.
But is there an example where maybe you've been holding, you could hold it for like a day or a week, but then some news comes out or something happens, and then all the money is made very quickly?
Yeah. So Roblox was the recent one. I had puts. I guess it was like 2 weeks ago, and I caught the big gap down on the 0 DTEs. It was just a lotto position, but I ended up making like 2,000%. And I was never down more than like 10% on it. So it was like a crazy trade.
When the put spiked, how fast did it spike?
It gapped up 2,000%.
2,000%?
I saw it immediately.
So you woke up to it?
Yeah.
And you're just like, it's either going to work or not work.
Yeah, and well, I was like super mad about the UNH thing because I was loaded in UNH, and I knew that it was the Buffett news. It was that day. So you could look at the gap down on Roblox. And I would have been up like an extra 200K on UNH. So I was like super just down on myself, but then caught that just got super lucky on Roblox.
How much did you make?
42 grand.
Nice. Sometimes you can get lucky and bank. The harder you work, the luckier you get. If you put yourself in the right position, especially with a lot of these supernovas, right? Like whether you're trading, options on Roblox, which I don't do, or some of these stocks, but it doesn't matter. It's all about, can you find an asset that can move heavily in your favor? And can you position yourself before that happens? He positioned himself with Roblox. I mean, Strati, do you have an example of a fast trade that worked, not just CIGL?
Yesterday, STI, when I said I was going to size down in the morning, it went from 7:20 to 8 in 3 minutes.
Morning spike.
Morning spiker, for $1,500, but it was 3 minutes. It was a $1,500 win. One of my biggest wins ever was $26,000. I think it was ARBE.
Okay.
In 7 minutes.
Yeah.
In 7 minutes.
Morning spiker.
It uphalted. So I got stuck in a halt and I was up a few thousand, and then when it came out of the halt, it was just way higher. So it was really cool.
But that's the thing, guys. This is the beautiful thing with trading where, again, it's about execution, positioning yourself. People will say you get lucky, but now I have 50 millionaire students. They're getting lucky because they're studying so much and they're finding the right setups, and then they're executing the setups, whether it's with small size, whether it's big size. This is the beauty of trading, and it can be a few minutes, so you have to be aware of that. Many people don't realize this. Many people want to hold the stock. Strati's lead trainer now of Inner Circle. What are you saying about people? What kind of trades do they want to do?
They want to do the really slow ones that don't move that much because they just feel safer. They're scared of volatility, which I understand. But then you look to your left and there's a stock going 200% in like an hour. Like, where do you want to focus, right?
Sometimes you have to lean into that volatility, even if it's scary, because again, if you position yourself, just like, Clay made 2,000%, you got to be open to those things. That's where your account can really grow. That's where you see the upside versus a lot of these swings. Like UNH is great for people like Jack and, Lucas, where they have already millions of dollars, but it takes precious time and capital away from you. And if you focus on the faster plays, you can grow your capital with less time and then more time for others too. Like, it's not just about becoming a millionaire. Like, if you can make an extra $500 or a few $1,000s on a fast trade, that can really enhance your life. You have to keep things in perspective. I mean, you were a former gym teacher. How much did you make a day as a gym teacher?
$100.
Right?
That was nice.
What was your former job, Clay?
Mowing yards.
How much did you make mowing yards?
About the same, couple $100 a day.
Best case scenario. And again, none of those jobs will ever go parabolic. It's not like if Strati became the single best gym teacher in the freaking world and his students all climbed up the ropes the fastest, he's still probably just going to make maybe like $1,000 in a day. That's probably like the number one gym teacher, the number one like yard mower. Maybe I guess you could like franchise the business, but that would be tough, right? It's just tough doing hourly paying jobs versus trading, which, things can go parabolic. The whole key though is putting yourself in a position to get in before the parabolic move. And that's where the hard work is. That's where the studying is. How much studying do you guys do?
A lot. Every single night for like 5 years now. Because everyone does hindsight. So they're like, oh, it spiked. Well, I would have obviously bought it there. You have to reverse engineer it. What were the signs before the spike? What led up to that move? That's where all the work is done beforehand.
So how much do you study every night?
Probably 2 hours. When I was 5 years ago, at least 6 or 7 hours, like from 4 o'clock to 11, easy. Now it's more of like a routine, so like 2 hours a night.
You optimize your process.
Yeah, you gotta like take a break after hours, and then get dinner, meal prep, do what you gotta do, get good sleep, but then still find like a 2 or 3 hour window.
But every now and then you go hard. You recently gave an 11-hour webinar to Inner Circle students, which is crazy, just going over your recent trades.
Yeah, so we do 2-hour webinars every day, Monday to Thursday, and then they do their group one on Fridays where sometimes I don't even go. They just go at it as a group, which is great.
Shout out to Terry, first Inner Circle student, over $100,000. He's helping other students now too.
I think I had like 3 losing days in a row, and every Zoom is about 2 hours, and we got to the 2-hour mark, and I said, guys, you can stay, you can leave, I don't care, I'm leaving the stream on, I'm not stopping. We need to figure out what the problem is. And we opened up a spreadsheet, we opened up the charts, I shared the screen. Honestly, they didn't even talk. I talked to myself.
What was the problem?
Overtrading and losing your routine. So like, I just love like what Clay said, you pick 2 or 3 stocks a day in the morning, you try them out. If they don't work, you log off by 11 because like midday is the worst time of day. When you're not doing that, you are overtrading. You might not be happy with how your morning went, and then you're settling and trying to force stuff in the middle of the day. And then you're burnt out. And then the nice 4 o'clock plays like CIGL come, and you can't take them because you're burnt out or you're really red. So once you go down that rabbit hole, you're in trouble. So
Clay, how much do you study these days?
These days it's more about preparing, but my advice to people would be like replace watching movies, even listening to music. I mean, while you're like doing the dishes or cleaning the house, just like be listening to trading audiobooks, podcasts, watching videos, because the more you like passively are listening, the more your subconscious will like pick it up, and then you have like your active learning where you're like super focused. Maybe you block out 30-minute periods, hour periods, whatever works for you. But obviously the more time that you can put in just absorbing all the information, the more that you'll actually like wire it in and change. And that's like the best thing you can do is get really good at being able to admit you're wrong very fast. Like there's a reason that he preaches cut losses, because like if you can do that, then you're saving your drawdowns. And even for me, like right now, like I just went through a 3-month drawdown. Like there's no reason for me to be doing that. Like I'm preaching to myself right now, like I'm gonna be doing this still at this level. So now I have to go back through that period where I'm spending 6 to 10 hours a day studying, because I don't want to go through that anymore. And it can still be scary, even though I'm like over the $1 million mark. If you're losing money for 2 or 3 months, that like self-doubt can creep in and all that. So you have to get really good at mitigating your losses. Like if you can just lose very specifically and like strategically, where you're setting yourself up for huge wins and being at specific points in a stock where it can move away from price very quickly, like that's how you can have like a low win rate and still make tons of money. Like,
What are your win rates, by the way? Stratty?
38.2%.
Clay?
I think it's 46%. And I was telling Tim earlier, my best win rate was my first year. It just went down 1%, 2% every year.
But you made more money,
yeah,
right?
The wins get bigger.
There's so many good lessons in this video. Watch it again. I just want to close it off by saying, like, it's a never-ending battle. Even though these guys are millionaires, they're still battling, they're still learning. Maybe their learning process has been optimized so they're not studying as much, but they're also studying themselves, their own patterns, their own failings, and the market. Like I said, it's you versus the enemy fighter jet, which is the market. So you have to study your own behavior and you have to study the market, and you're trying to get, best optimized for yourself and best prepared for the market. It's a two-front war. I'm sorry, Napoleon lost his two-front war, but we can learn from his mistakes and we can do better. It's not enough just to work on your own executions. You have to see what's working in the market. And similarly, it's not enough just to study the market. You have to be in the right mindset, have the right ideas for your own execution. There's a ton of opportunities right now, but myself included, I'm not capitalizing like I should. I've been a little sloppy. I have overtrading issues. My best strategy is, the over the weekend plays. And even after the over weekend plays, like Strati went to go take a nap last night, and he came down and he's like, "What are you doing?" And I was trading 2 other after hours plays, and he's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I want it. I'm feeling it." And I wasn't feeling it, FYI. It was just in my mind. CIGL was great, but then I had basically 2 scratches, 1 small loss on HTBX and 1 small win on HOUR, neither of which I should have been in. I should have just focused on CIGL. So I'm like the alcoholic bartender. I'm giving you guys drinks, but I have a drinking problem myself. Part of the reason why I travel so much, I love to travel, but I do better when I'm jet lagged, when I have bad Wi-Fi, when I'm in one place and, I'm not so jet lagged and I have good Wi-Fi, I resort to wanting to trade more. And for me, that is my kryptonite. So you have to find what your biggest weakness is. So last question for each of you. What is your biggest weakness and how are you fixing it, Stratty?
I'd say probably that self-doubt, like Clay talked about a lot. I feel like every time I take a few red days in a row, I'm like, am I really? I still don't believe this is like a thing. I'm like, is this really happening?
You still don't think you can do it?
I'm like, what the hell is going on? When I'm laying down at night, I'm like, what am I doing? So I think I need to believe a little more in what's going on and just be a little more grateful.
I mean, even the money that you made, it doesn't give you any confidence. Wait a minute, I'm doing better than 99.999% of traders.
It does, but I think with trading, when you're trading such a scary thing like the stock market, you're never going to be too sure. I don't know if that's going to be how it is forever, but that's what I go through. I can't trust this. I can't trust the market.
You can't trust the market. You shouldn't trust the market. But you're on the right path. Your profit and loss should give you confidence, especially over time. It's like a scorecard. But again, it's not just about your profit and loss. You might be making money, but you might be doing it in an undisciplined way. And if you make money the wrong way in a hot market, when there's a cold market, you'll lose everything and more. We saw a lot of hodlers and a lot of people in 2020, 2021. They're like, it's a new paradigm. The world is changing. I got a lot of messages like, Sykes, you're obsolete. You're a dinosaur. And I'm like, I'm just going to stick by my same rules. Warren Buffett has done this notoriously several times throughout the decades. He invests in what he knows. He doesn't worry about fads that he misses. All the hodlers of 2020 and 2021, especially NFTs, they got wiped out. It was not a new era. It wasn't a new paradigm. This time is different are the 4 most expensive words in the English language. It's never different. Obviously, you could have manias that go further. I underestimated a lot of the crypto coins and the NFTs and a lot of OTCs, even though I made $1 million each in 2020 and 2021. They were my best 2 years. I didn't size up properly. I didn't truly capitalize. But I stayed true to myself, and I did not lose those gains like most people did. And even in 2022, when the hangover came to the market, I still finished green that year, just barely. And the average trader, do you know this? In 2022, the average trading account, there was a broker that reported the stats. The average trading account lost 44%.
That's scary.
Average.
That's scary.
So that means some people were break even, some people were up a little, but then there were also a lot of people who lost 90 to 100% of the money. So you got to stay in the game through the good markets and the bad markets. Clay, last thought for you. What is your biggest weakness? How are you working on it? Aside from just the quality and impulse control, you already talked about that. What's your second biggest weakness?
Well, biggest weakness is not changing what doesn't work quickly.
Oh,
So-
say that. Whoa, wait.
Not-
Not changing
like-
what doesn't work. So
Yes, like not changing as a person and continuing to repeat same like patterns of behavior. Like not truly changing how I act, how I like think, how I feel, like how I
So you're saying not
mistakes.
changing what doesn't work. You could also just
Yeah,
say
like cutting
changing what does work.
No, like repeating mistakes. Like the deeper that you can dive into your what loses you money, like your bottom end, like where are you wasting the most? If you're not changing the behavior that cuts out all of that waste, like that's my biggest weakness.
So not changing what doesn't work means changing what doesn't work. So not changing is a mistake, but you
You're
want
scared
to change.
You don't want to
not,
stay in the same
not changing
place.
is my biggest weakness. Like that's
You're
what I'm
still the
saying.
same
You
guy.
still do the same thing that doesn't work over and over again. So
Yeah,
you have
so-
to change.
so you need
okay.
to dive
We're
into
still learning
losses.
English here, folks.
Like as deep as possible. Dive into your losers, like what you did, why you were thinking what you were thinking, and just like do as much analysis on yourself for what those losses are repeating.
It
And
took me a second, but I got it.
It took me
I got
longer
it.
than a second.
I got it.
You have to be your own psychologist. And you have to be very blunt and introspective, okay? You know, you can't sugarcoat things. I know a lot of people, they're just like, look at my profit and chart. It's fine. Like, you have to be your own therapist, really. Trading, a lot of this is mental. It's you versus you. I know I said it's like the fighter jet, you versus the market, but like, you got to get control of your own fighter jet. The market might be offering up opportunities galore, which it has been, but if you're not in tune with what works for you, and if you're not in control of yourself with what doesn't work, you know, I've been talking about this where I overtrade, okay, I travel, but I also size down dramatically. Strategy's like, come on, size up. And I'm like, I'm not ready to size up. It doesn't work for me with my travels. It doesn't work for me right now. I don't trust myself right now enough to size up. Even though I'm profitable, it's just barely. I miss the OTC days. I miss the cleaner patterns. I'm trading short squeeze after short squeeze. I nailed, many plays, but it's still not my favorite pattern. And unfortunately for me, as a teacher, I personally don't have enough time to study or like work on myself. I wish I did. I wish I had the time for these guys, but I'm prouder of being able to teach from my mistakes. I know you guys love my videos where I screw up and I dig into my mistakes. I have two really dumb mistakes that account for like 25% of my losses in 2025. Do you guys have big losses in 2025?
2025, not like a singular. I've had like a couple 20K red days from like
Small
you
paper
just-
cuts.
You just paper cut all day and you realize like, what the heck did I do? That's when I went to it. But like a singular, no,
That's
but
good.
a few 20K red days.
Any big losses this year, Clay?
just 10K, but 4 or 5 of them all back to back to back to back.
Look, I mean, that's disheartening, but how much are you up this year in 2025? So far, not three quarters through the year?
A little over 300.
$300?
A little over 300K.
$300,000. Just say it.
Yeah, $300,000.
Well, you said yeah, but you didn't say it. You said 300, then you said 300K. Why can you not say hundreds of thousands of dollars? Does it make it too real? Is it scary? Does it sound cocky? Tell me.
No, it's just like more of a detachment. Like I don't want to think of it in real dollars, because if I think of it in real dollars, I'm like, oh, I'm down 9K, and then think about what that can do in the real world. So I just like,
So you keep it a video game.
yeah, it's like a point.
But you
system.
made $300,000 3 quarters through the year, so you're on track. We'll see, but you can't count your chickens before they hatch. But potentially $400,000 on the year, which is basically like double or triple a doctor's salary, and you ain't no doctor. That's cool. How much are you up or down this year?
Like $450,000.
Thank you. I know that was tough. Good job. Congratulate these guys, not just on the money that they made, but being able to actually talk about the money that they made. $400,000, that's fantastic. Not every year is going to be like that. They're also still growing their accounts. They're still learning about themselves. But this is the process. Like, some people say, come on, Tim, just be more specific with these videos. I want you guys to understand the journey. I want you to understand what it takes, how it's truly a never-ending battle to find what works for you, what works in the market, and try to enjoy it too. These guys are going to enjoy their money. They're going to enjoy, the freedom that travel affords, where you can literally trade from anywhere. Although Strati, I think he's a little over-traveled lately, so he's got to come back to reality. But now he's taking his girlfriend out for a nice thing. Oh, Oh, she's not going to see this in time. I don't want to ruin the surprise. Were you surprising her?
For her birthday?
Yeah.
When's this coming out?
She's not going to watch this. We're 30 minutes in. She's not going to watch this. Anyways, have a good day. Watch this video again. Watch some other videos. Congratulate Strati and Clay. Study up. Work on yourself. See what works in the market. I'll catch you again.